Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, and I am out here again, taking advantage of this morning to say to those of you who will stop on this post that there is something that is magnificent in this day. It is a day for us to be open to receive that which gives us life. Yes, breath for sure, the adrenaline that flows for sure, the blood that flows for sure, the dreams and aspirations that are there for sure. But the opportunity to make a dream come true, that is the most fantastic thing about this day. But what is a dream? A dream is something that we hope for. Could it be good? Of course. Could it be bad? Of course. But when we usually think about a dream, we try to personalize that dream for something that represents us as individuals. And we look for things that gives us joy and pleasure and all of these positives. And so when we think about dreams, we think about life seeming the same. And as I stand here this day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here because there are so many of us that are missing out on the things of life. And we have been tricked to believe that we shouldn't worry about this, that we just make it through the day. Don't rock the boat too hard. God will see us through. And there will come a glorious day when we will die and we will go into those pearly gates. Well, different groups got different stories, so don't let me start going in there and start no confusion. But anyway, that story goes there. It's amazing how wonderful that story is. But is it for you? You don't know. You got to have faith that it's wonderful for you. Faith that's something that you're going to enter into is going to be better than that from which you come. Well, there's something to me strange about something like that. It appears to me if you come from a good thing, you go to a good thing. That's, to me, the order. But to come from a bad thing into a good thing, something's funny about that to me. It's like being in your mother's womb and for some strange reason get corrupted in your mother's womb. And then you come out into the world with your corruptedness that disables you from doing anything but be. And somebody tells you that's fantastic, to just be. I don't know. You should ask perhaps that person that's just being what it feels like to just be. Well, so many of us today, ladies and gentlemen, are just being. We are being what we are allowed to be, not knowing who we are and what we can be. We settle for that which seems to be the easiest. And what is that? That is appears to be the easiest, which they permit us to do, and penalize us for that which they deny our doing, and that which is our liberty, our freedom. I'm sitting here today because they're talking about a debate tonight between Republicans and Democrats. I'm standing out here because you got a man who has proven to the nation and to the world that he's a compulsive liar, that he has no decency according to the standards that have been set before the American people and claimed as what decency represents, has none. And he's there considered himself to be the greatest president the United States has ever had. He's done more in 3.5 years than all of the presidents have done in their entirety. So says he. And they got him sitting there debating whether to serve another term or not, hoping, most people are, that he loses. And every turn where they were hoping that fate caught up with him, it didn't. Even though he was as guilty as hell, he was still denied justice. And the people are still counting on, look, ladies and gentlemen, don't play that ignorant game, because it can happen again. And you can't complain because you are so closely related to this that you are criticizing. You get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? I'm saying, those of you who got a lot of money, you love your money. I know you do. It allows you to do a lot of things. Everybody who got a little money or no money wants some of that money you got, or have money like you, so they can do for themselves and theirs as you do for you and yours. But they can't. And would you give up your money so that they could? The truth of that, what kind of reason would motivate you to do something like that? I say, well, if everything that you can do with your money today, if you gave up your money and it meant that you can still do everything that you can do with your money today with no money, and because you were willing to give up your money, these who had no money can do the same as if now they do have money. I mean, would you do that? I guess I'm actually saying, if you had $10,000 and there was a car that cost $10,000, would you take your $10,000 and buy that car? Or would you give your $10,000 away if it meant you could still have that car? I think most of you are saying you put that $10,000 on that car rather than give it away. And that's because that's the way you've been trained. That is absolutely the way you've been trained. And the power of the universe knows that. Knows how you've been victimized. Knows how when people like me come along and talk to you, giving you something like what I'm telling you, it seems to be a foreign language for which you have no understanding. And yet, when you go to the altar, this is what you ask the preachers, the ministers, the elders, the bishops. This is what you ask them to pray for. Pray for peace. And you look like you're looking for a miracle, something to rain down peace or to make people stop. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to stop. God is not going to force anybody like that. That's not the way God operates. God operates through the will. It is your will. If you decide to stop fighting, stop fighting. If you decide to stop doing those things, stop engaging yourself in those things that brings tension, cause animosities. If you decide to stop doing those things, you will have peace. And that's because you are expressing what you are asking God for yourself. You're expressing it. So what you were praying for from an outside source now is you. Bringing it, making it real in the here and the now. Same thing about everything else. That's how you get peace. That's how you get prosperity. Prosperity, my friends, is not trying to get all you can get. Because when you do it like that, there's so many that can't get anything. It's like having a great big hand. Or should I say a bulldozer. You know what I'm talking about, bulldozer, right? And a shovel. You say get all you can get, somebody comes in with a bulldozer, somebody comes in with a shovel. Who's going to get the most? But what's the benefit? Somebody's going to be left out, hungry, destitute. When there's a way, it's the understanding that this is you. This person with this little shovel is you. And Lord have mercy. You want to be without? So what do you do? How do you fix this? How do you fix it so you won't be without and they won't be without? How do you do that? How do you do it? How do you do it? You do it by treating others. You heard the golden rule. I think this was called the second golden rule. Do unto others as you'd have others to do unto you. I like to say, my experience is this: do unto others as you would have others to do unto you, and as you have God to do unto you. That means do your best to do the best, for the best. And you got no problem with that. When you are the best and you got the best, you got no problem with that. But it's a heck of a problem when you hurting. How many of you, let me ask you this, how many of you got relatives, sisters, brothers, mothers and fathers, and uncles and cousins that are sick, really low sick, victims of a failed healthcare system, victims of economics, even you, and you want to go and visit them and see them and love them, and you can't. You let time pass hoping that you can forget people so you don't have to deal with the consequences that's going to arise later on down the road because of the difficulties that you are presented with in your lives every day. How many of you wishing that you could help and you have to deny? Woo, boy. Man, let me tell you something, people who got money, that is the way poor people and people who are suffering, people who are living from day to day, these are things that they engage in every day. Every day they engage in these kinds of things. And you know what? Here's the sick thing about it, is that the master of the universe, the master, you look at the sky, you see the sky, watch this. See this, if I can get it. Where is that? You see that? That's the sun, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I didn't mess up something. But no man can master that, baby. That's a power that man can't touch. And that same kind of power made this earth and us and prepared everything together that it can be as united and as fantastic here on this earth as that sun is up there in the sky. And it's unity, it's love and respect for who you are of that power that put you here and the purpose for being here. What is that power doing? Creating. What are you for? To create. And in that process, you're living as though in heaven. And we give it up because someone tells us that, oh, whoa. They don't see God. So let me be God. And how do you be God? You be God by lying to people, telling them that there is no God except the one that has the power to take your life if you don't obey. That's what the dictators do. That's what the devils do. That take armies and guns and go in and kill and fight wars and terrorize people, taking so they can have more, claiming that they are God, causing all kinds of pain and suffering, and people submitting themselves to it to avoid the pain and suffering because they do not know what the true God is all about. Ugh. And the world, who's doing all this robbery, as soon as someone stands up in the power of the true God, and the people look and say, and then that evil go and try to take their lives, which is the key to every last one of you. That every man who loses his life for standing up for you is entered into the kingdom of God wherever it is. Why? Because you have to do that in order to be standing up in the midst of here, in the midst of this hell for you. You got to already be there. That's why you are effective. That's why evil and the demons kill you. Because you the real stuff. Going to church, paying tithes and offerings, reading your scriptures and studying your Sunday school lesson and trying to see who can interpret this and who can interpret that, who had an experience about this, who had an experience about that, whose testimony is this and whose testimony is that, don't really mean a darn thing when you all around you is pain and suffering. that leads you to the grave. Huh? You got an opportunity if you're living today to change things. If you're old, I want you to know, or if you're getting old like me, ooh boy, I feel like everything that can go wrong with a man when he gets old is gone wrong with me already. You heard everything. Every organ in my body, as far as I'm concerned, is dilapidated, just can't wait. That's the way I feel sometimes. And then at the same time, I know what kind of world I'm in. So I'm out here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying my best to wake you up, because the moment we wake up is the moment that we can change. And the moment we make that decision, it's like the twinkling of an eye, we go from hell to paradise. I'm telling you, the moment we make up our minds, I didn't say I, it's gonna take all of our eyes. Woo, looks like a Sunday morning. Well, anyway, I just want you to know that this debate that's going on tonight, and Joe Biden telling you what you can have by not going on with Trump, and you taking the risk that maybe this might be that general act that will sidetrack Trump. Well, it just might not. But see, if you go all the way, that means if you go the right way, even if Trump wins the election and get in the White House one more time, he knows already himself, and the world knows, especially the United States, that his game is over. Why? Because there's a new mindset in the nation. There's nothing that's going to divide us now, because we are awakened by the spirit of the truth. And his game and the game by anybody else is over. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying this, but how many of you can embrace it? How many of you can empower it and make it real? That's the key. Can you empower it and make it real? Can you make it real? I think I'll stop there. Can you make it real? Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, saying, until next time, goodbye.